today for West Virginia. They are now 10-0 at home, and they'll be at Texas Tech on Wednesday. For Tim McCormick and our entire crew, I'm Clay Matvick. Now we go out to Austin, Texas, LSU and the Longhorns.
And welcome everybody to the Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. This is the Big 12 SEC Challenge sponsored by Continental Tires. With Fran Frischel, I'm Paul Sunderland. LSU winners of 7 in a row taking on Texas, coming off their worst Big 12 loss in program history by 38 points in Morgantown on Monday.
No question, a lot of pride on the line for this Texas Longhorn team.
A couple of outstanding coaches that go way back. Will Wade in his 3rd year in Baton Rouge, SEC regular season champs last year, along with Tennessee at 16-2. Went to the Sweet 16 before losing to Michigan State.
Texas's first 2 baskets were inside to Jones and Sims. I think they got to keep exploiting that.
Febris now with a shot clock winding down. Jones with it on the perimeter. Texas likes to shoot a lot of threes. Febris, one of the best along the way, and that rattles in and out. Good defense that time by LSU. Here comes Skylar Mays. Speaking of leadership, as you pointed out, one of the very best. Nice turn by Watford down inside. He doesn't look nor play like a freshman. Very nicely done by number 2 in purple.
They use him wisely because he's so versatile. Will Wade told us, you put a small guy on him, he can take you inside. You put a big guy on him, he can take you away from the basket. You saw him start that move from the top of the key and work his way to the paint.
Averaging 13.7 rebounds, efficient 47% field goals for the McDonald's All-American and Alabama Gatorade Player of the Year. Inside to Sims, catching it deep. Nice looking jump hook. He almost shot that down.
Yes, I like the way they've started now. The guards for Texas have got to realize their first 3 baskets have come in the paint, and they've got to continue to exploit the smaller front line of LSU.
Texas shooting it pretty well, already 4 of 7. Pretty quick start. Watford down inside, and this could be a factor as well. Getting to the free throw line. Good start, particularly for Texas. Getting the ball inside. They lead it by 1 here in Austin. ESPN,
that you see it, Paul, is the consistency of Jericho Sims. The effort level from year to year has definitely grown. Now it's about becoming the man in the paint for the Horns.
As mentioned, had a very, very productive game, and you were here to call it against Udoka Azubuike in Kansas, and that's no easy matchup as Watford goes to the free throw line. That personal foul was the first on Kai Jones. And speaking of that, Kai Jones making his first ever start. And on the other end of that spectrum, Matt Coleman wearing number 2 in white, the leader for Texas. 90th game since he's been at Texas. He started every one of them. Both free throws perfect. This is a nice-looking young player for LSU.
Good bloodlines. His brother Christian, an outstanding player at Indiana University. Now that's unnecessary. Token pressure, a little 2-2-1. And Febris throws that ball away.
Turnovers for Texas, not particularly an issue at 14. They also create 14, so not a bad number. Devontae Smart wearing number 1 in purple, 6'4" sophomore out of Baton Rouge, really been playing well.
See if they go inside. There's a mismatch. They got him.
That's it. Good recognition. Count the basket, Franny. You called it. Emmett Williams, 6'6" sophomore, Fort Myers, Florida, had 19 points. Speaking of Florida and the Gators in the Tigers' 84-82 win.
Now you see Coleman got screened off, and good recognition. As you mentioned, if you see that mismatch, how do you exploit it? And they went high-low right there.
LSU on top 11-8, and Emmett Williams, a 79% free throw shooter, will head to the free throw line, averaging 16 points per contest over the last 4. And LSU does a really good job, unlike Texas, of getting to the free throw line. The Longhorns only get to the line 6 times a game. That's unheard of. James Harden, 12 times a game. Good attack at the other end, but bodied up and stopped. I was going to say James Harden got in the way of my own joke. James Harden gets the line more than that in a quarter.
Well, these three forwards, each of them, I would describe as a power forward. You don't see that very often in college basketball, but they are not only relentless on the glass, but they score at a really high rate in the paint. Number 4 offensive team efficiency in college basketball. Pretty good. Another example of going inside.
Boy, do they open up the floor and then duck inside. Very versatile lineup on the floor for Will Wade. You were pointing it out during one of the timeouts. There are the injured players. There's Kamaka Hepa out of Barrow, Alaska. He started the last 7 games and really did a nice job moving the ball. He's in a boot right now. He injured his right ankle in practice on Wednesday. Step back jump shot. And what a start for Trendon Watford.
Well, they've taken advantage of the small lineup by Texas. 3 guards versus 3 forwards. They're basically picking out the weak link and utilizing Trendon Watford's ability to score inside and out.
14-8 is the advantage now for LSU. Watford leading the way with 8 points. Step back jumper not there. Long rebound taken by Smart. Out on the run with some numbers. Step through, count the. Oh, they called an offensive foul. And Javonte Smart cannot believe it. Today we'll have 3 of the best Big 12 SEC Challenge games right here on ESPN and the ESPN app. Coming up next, number 3 Kansas hosts Tennessee at the Fog at 4 Eastern. Then Coach Cal and number 15 Kentucky take on number 18 Texas Tech in Lubbock. And at 8 o'clock, number 1 Baylor is in Gainesville squaring off against Florida. A lot of anticipation for that game between Kentucky and Texas Tech. Tickets going up on StubHub for well over $1,000. Biggest basketball game in Lubbock in a long time. At least non-conference anyway.
Yeah, they've drawn really well out there. Their fan base is really electrified by the job Chris Beard has done. And listen, you just scored 3 baskets in this game in the paint, and now you got all these guys shooting jump shots.
Well, Fran, I was going to ask you exactly the same thing. Watford went to pick it up, got it stuck on his hip, and clearly the turnover on the held ball.
And, Paul, on that play, when you lose it like that, you are allowed to go gather it and pick it up. You just can't dribble it again. That would be an interrupted dribble. So Watford's just got to know the rule there.
Andrew Jones, a great story. More on that momentarily. The 6'4" redshirt sophomore out of Irving, Texas, wearing number 2 in white. Like you called it, trying to get the ball inside. But what good defense by LSU and Williams. Beautiful pass. When we talked to Will Wade yesterday, Fran, you said, why is your team so tight? Why are you so well connected? Boy, you're seeing the reasons now. They share it.
Caught watching the ball. Taylor sneaks behind, and efficiency and effort are 2 words I would describe this Tiger team.
Marlon Taylor just off the bench on the floor, 6'6" senior out of Mount Vernon, New York. Had a double-double against Florida, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 6 of those coming on the offensive end. He's out on the perimeter guarding Coleman. Jones, step back jumper, look good as soon as it left his hand. A much-needed basket for the Longhorns.
And Andrew Jones, you know, the story's been told, we'll tell it again. 2 years battling leukemia. McDonald's All-American, they could use his scoring, no question.
How tough. Talk about perseverance and toughness for Jones to be back in the lineup. Just a wonderful, wonderful young man. Mays off the dribble, high up off the window, offensive rebound, second chance points again.
You're going to say that a lot today, offensive rebound, because that's in LSU's DNA. They attack the glass with 3, and they keep track of it statistically.
Step back jump shot by Febris, rattles in and out. That was a pretty good look, and Shaka Smart telling us yesterday at practice when we asked him about the 25.5 threes per game. He says, look, as long as they're open, let it go. Step through off the side of the iron, another offensive rebound. And then finally cleared that time by number 5, Royce Ham Jr., 6'8" junior out of Houston, just on the floor. At the other end, not there.
Jericho Sims has got to find a way to demand the basketball.
Well, look who he's got on him right now. Good recognition. Finally, Fran, listen to you and get the ball inside.
Well, and I think he's got to do his part by demanding the ball and begging for it. If you're watching the purple jerseys, every time a shot goes up, you'll see at least 3 go to the glass.
Sims now with half a dozen on 3 of 4 shooting. LSU very efficient, 7 of 13 so far from the floor. Seven to shoot. Nice skip pass out to Hyatt just on the floor, and he buries a three-pointer. Andre Hyatt.
Good-looking young player, Paul.
Sorry, Franny.
Wow.
Ninth three-pointer on a lot of attempts. He hasn't made his share. He comes right back to knock one down.
I got excited for Hyatt because I watched him through high school. But here's where Texas has got to go. You got a small front line. Pound it inside. Demand the ball.
12 SEC Challenge triple header begins today at 4 on ESPN.
Going to be a busy and a very good day of college basketball. Already a couple of games in the books. The Big 12 and the SEC tied at 1 apiece. West Virginia and Auburn both notching wins. West Virginia over Missouri and Auburn at home over Iowa State.
Little 2-3 zone now by Texas. I don't think they've played a possession of zone all season long. First time today. Short-handed a little bit, and maybe it's a way to change the tempo of this game.
Andrew Jones came in and knocked down a three, and now points off turnovers. Nicely done by number 1 in white. The purpose of the zone then, and why is it taking so long for Shaka Smart to break it out?
Well, they actually have been a decent man-to-man team all year. I think today, short-handed and then the size of LSU, they're worried about that kind of size. But one thing I love about this LSU team right off the bat, they see zone, they don't settle for the three, they go right inside.
Watford now in double figures with 10. He's gotten LSU off to a really good start, leading at 23-18. Nice little mini run, if you will, by number 3 Ramey and Texas. Pass down inside and some contact. No question about the block called on Hyatt.
Now, if there's one guy that can really give you some scoring on the outside, it's Andrew Jones, the young man from Irving, Texas, who a couple years ago, everybody knows the story, we'll tell it again, diagnosed with leukemia, 2 years of treatments, redshirted, finally getting back to where Texas hopes he can be. As a freshman, he was an outstanding player, Paul, and he's still a sophomore. And it's great to see him back on the court.
Speaking of Scott McConnell the other day, the outstanding SID for Texas, he let me know that Jones' final treatment was as recently as September 19th of this year.
Yes. Down here at practice, watching him about a week later.
Watford again, he's feeling it, and that was a traveling violation. Been a pretty good game so far, very few turnovers, and Watford has been exceptional in double figures now, leading all scorers.
I think you made a great point about LSU. They know who they are. They have an identity. They share the ball. They're balanced. They are, I would call them connected. Everybody knows their strengths.
9 baskets so far in the afternoon, thanks to 6 assists. That's sharing the ball.
Yes.
They're a team of good passers, a very undervalued skill. Inside of 10 minutes remaining in the opening half. Paul Sunderland with Fran Frischella. Thanks for joining us for the Big 12 SEC Challenge, presented by Continental Tires. Kai Jones, number 22, had a couple of brief moments. Again, the freshman out of Bahamas, making his first ever career start. That pass forced down inside by number 4 Donovan Williams, just on the floor for Texas.
Watch LSU now. They'll attack this zone. Well, if you got a guy like him, you let him shoot it. Okay, forget going inside out. That's okay if you're the leading scorer, one of the best players in the SEC. Skylar Mays. What a career he's had, and what a story he is. Young man who eventually attended medical school.
6'4", 205-pound senior out of Baton Rouge is Mays with Texas. Andrews at the other end, and Jericho Sims, as you pointed out, playing inside out is Texas.
And you know what? If Jones is knocking it down, Ramey gets hot. You like that balance. You got to have that balance.
Sims now with 8 points on 4 of 5 shooting. Both teams pretty efficient. Texas at 50%, LSU at 63. That rattles in and out, and that ball off of Jones, and Texas looking to run, bringing it into the front court is Courtney Ramey. Throws it away. 3-on-1. Watford, maybe an NBA extra step, but he threw that one down. What an athlete. Trendon Watford, 6'9", already an NBA body at 235 pounds.
Courtney Ramey never saw Kai Jones run the floor. He was shot out of a cannon, but was not rewarded.
Watford now with a dozen on 5 of 6 shooting. Shot clock at 5. Williams straight away 3-pointer, not there, and a really good block out by Darius Days, working on Sims.
There's the cross-court pass with too much helium, and then watch Mays. He's going to drop pass for Watford, who sends it in. Young man out of Birmingham, Alabama, highly recruited. And I mentioned his brother Christian, who a lot of people will recall the shot that beat Kentucky for Indiana, that got the Tom Crean era going. Top 10 all-time scorers, and now his little brother playing for LSU.
Williams thought about it, enters the ball down inside as soon as LSU recognizes the mismatch on the inside. We'll step aside. LSU on top 28-20, and these two coaches joined at the hip for a long time. Smart in his 5th year, twice to the NCAA's, NIT champions last year. He expects more. Team was really good yesterday in terms of energy and practice after coming off that debacle in Morgantown. Out of the inbounds play, nice play once again by Skylar Mays.
Let's see what they got coming out of a timeout.
Williams attacking, not much resistance. Wow. Nice finish.
Yeah, he's an impressive athlete out of Houston. Has not been in the rotation, but because of the injuries to Liddell and Hepa, like Jones, getting an opportunity today.
LSU on top 30-22. They have led throughout. Got out to a quick 16-8 lead, forcing a timeout. Long 3-pointer on the way. Nice strong rebound taken in traffic by Jericho Sims. Jones, rhythm, dribbling into a 3-pointer. Boy, how big is he for Texas so far?
He's the one guy you give the green light to because he can do that and get you going.
Jones now with 8, 2 of 2 from outside the arc. Trying to turn the corner to the front of the rim. Nice block by Williams. 6'6", long-armed with a rejection.
Did a great job of getting his body away from the driver. He's only played 12 minutes the last 4 games. You love his energy early.
Play for Jones, feeling it a little bit with some room. That off the back of the iron. Ball is loose and taken by LSU. And here comes Mays out of the backcourt. Crossover dribble, and Kai Jones exposed 25 feet out and commits the personal foul.
Watch Donovan Williams right here. A little fake hand, a little handoff. Sees the crease, gets to the basket. That is a good-looking athlete. And then this is just too much room right here. Javonte Smart gives Andrew Jones. That's a rhythm 3 for him. And I mentioned playing inside out, but he's the one guy you give a little bit of the green light to because historically he can really heat up.
Jones now shooting 38% from outside the arc, including the 2 makes, 34 of 88. Inside of 6 minutes, right to the front of the rim. Javonte Smart easily lays that one up and in.
Good little down screen and curl, and no resistance by the Hornets.
Javonte Smart averages 12 per game. That's his first basket so far in the afternoon. The LSU lead is 7. Coleman steps, ill-advised shot.
Just don't like that shot that early in the clock, especially on the move. Again, they got to remember that Sims is on the court.
Williams looking at a mismatch. Sims comes down for the hard double. Fouls could be an issue, particularly as we talked about Kamaka Hepa being out. 6'9" sophomore out of Alaska, and that's the second personal foul on Kai Jones previously, but also the second personal foul on Jericho Sims. Yeah, that could be a very big factor.
Absolutely, and those 2 fouls by Kai Jones were freshman mistakes. Just 2 reach-in plays that he's got to stay away from, and Sims obviously much needed on the floor, especially today.
Texas has yet to get to the free throw line. These are the free throws 4 and 5 inside for Emmett Williams, averaging 14 points, 7 rebounds so far on the season, averaging 16 over his last 4 contests.
This is a great story, Emmett Williams, out of Fort Myers, Florida. He was snubbed by the McDonald's game 2 years ago as a high school senior, so he played in the Jordan Brand game and had 44. breaking LeBron James's all-time record in the Jordan Brand game. Talk about relentless. He is relentless.
Well, as is this entire LSU team. When you look at their numbers and the percentages, when you're talking about getting into the analytics, the number of times they rebound their own misses is really fabulous. Peppers back on the floor. Good three-point shooter. Lost his footing. And then delivers that ball to Ramey off his knee and out of bounds. 5:20 remaining. The lead now is 9.
And just not a good decision by Febres again. Cutter to the basket, hits him off the kneecap, and unaware of his environment.
Largest lead so far in the game. Boy, a floater. Is that another very poor shot decision?
Tough shot, but I got to tell you, I like Donovan Williams' energy today. It wasn't a good shot, but I love the fact that he came up with the steal and attacked the basket, and luckily, Texas gets the offensive rebound. I think Donovan Williams, I think Hepa, and I think Ty Jones can help this team more than they've helped him this year.
Williams has not gotten to the line much, just like his Texas teammates, as I mentioned. I stumbled through it. They only take 12 free throws a contest and make 8. He's now 3 of 5 so far on the year. There's Kamaka Hepa. I mentioned he comes from Barrow, Alaska. I checked. The high today in Barrow, Alaska is 16 degrees. I checked the high today.
That's 16 below?
16, excuse me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
16
you.
below.
16 below.
16 degrees would be a heat wave.
It would absolutely be a heat wave.
You'd be out, you'd be swimming in the frozen tundra, you know? I think it's ice fishing in a bikini.
Thanks for clarifying there. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Fran. Also 65 degrees if you're wondering in Austin today. Hyatt already hit one from the perimeter. Now he's hit another.
Yeah.
Nice confidence by Hyatt.
He's a young man out of the Bronx, New York, and they really like him. He redshirted a year ago, so he's still got a lot of eligibility left. But he's getting a chance to play because Charles Manning, a key guy, is out for another couple of weeks with a broken foot.
And he comes back. What a nice job dropping to the level of the ball, number 15 for the steal. Watford, who got off to such a quick early start, he's fouled on the perimeter. I want to remind you, tonight, our NBA Saturday primetime matchup features LeBron and the Western Conference leading Lakers as they finish up a 5-game road trip in Philly against Ben Simmons and the 76ers. We'll have to see how Joel Embiid, see what his status is for the game. He'll be updated or was updated midweek. Our coverage begins with the jump at 8 Eastern. There's Ben Simmons. Had the pleasure of doing a couple of his games while he was briefly playing for the Tigers. And Avery Bradley, guard back in 2009-10, enjoying being on the best teams in the Western Conference right now.
And one of 11 former Longhorns playing in the association this season.
Texas over the limit. Watford misses the first half of the 1-1.
Something interesting. Kai Jones back with 2 fouls. Shaka Smart down 12, rolling the dice, staying big. Now Jones has got to learn to play with 2 fouls.
Sims also with 2. Got to watch out for the offensive foul if he gets it on the perimeter.
Great help by Hyatt. Oh, did he come over quickly on the baseline?
Shot clock at 6. Long three-pointer. Febres banks it home.
He'll take it. At this point, take anything right now for Texas.
And so will Shaka Smart. That gets the lead back to single digits. Talked to Skylar Mays before the game. You talked about him wanting eventually to go to medical school. He says, you know, Paul, I'm going to put that off a little bit. They pay pretty well in the NBA. Outstanding young man, academic All-American. Shot clock also down. Long three-pointer, wow. Darius Days, that was almost from right in your lap, Fran.
And he only shoots 27%, but when you look at the attempts this season, you know Will Wade gives him somewhat of a green light. When he's making them, it really makes that offense tough to defend.
LSU, 5 of 7 from three-point range. Ty Jones needs a bounce, doesn't get it. 5 of 7 from outside the arc for LSU. They only shoot 31% on the season.
Yeah, we were highlighting how lethal they are inside. Today they've got it both going. I just love their balance. They got 5 guys on the floor that can all score.
Watford pulls up mid-range, pulled the string on that a little bit. Offensive rebound rattles home once again for the very active Marlon Taylor.
Yeah, he is a great story. He didn't make his high school team at famed Mount Vernon High School till his junior year. And his coach didn't really want to keep him, but he said he's so athletic, I don't want to be the guy to cut a pro someday.
That's usually a pretty good idea. Lead is 14, and the rebound off the miss taken by Trendon Watford.
And we mentioned Marlon Taylor, of course, Mount Vernon, the home of the likes of Ben Gordon and the Cray brothers. Great tradition there.
You mentioned high school basketball. Of course, we lost the legendary Morgan Wooten this week. And what a contribution he made for so many decades and helping the lives of so many then young men moving on to college. Biggest lead so far of the opening half for LSU on top, 42-28. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball.
Look right now. If you make a mistake, make it an aggressive mistake. Aggressive, help each other. All right? Start cheering, fellas. Show the fight.
Yeah, it's a good point. There have been moments today where Texas has played well, but in terms of showing the fight over 40 minutes, another turnover, over 20 minutes, excuse me, hasn't been there the whole time. And they are playing, as we mentioned, a basketball team that has won 7 in a row and 6 in the SEC. And the last 5, Paul, as you know, by 4 points. This team knows how to play together. Very impressed.
Right now, LSU not ranked, but that will probably change. A reminder, we're 50 days from Selection Sunday. Hyatt thought he got away with the travel. I thought he did for a moment, but he did not. And LSU turns it over. I want to remind you, coming up on the Chief Halftime Report, Illinois with a buzzer beater. Auburn back on track. And Roy hits a milestone. The game day crew, East Davis. My old friend Seth Greenberg, LaFonso Ellis will have that for you at halftime.
Yep. Carolina beat Miami today. Miami was down 2 very good players, but nevertheless, good win for the Heels.
Ty Jones with a lucky tip-in in traffic that time over Darius Days, wearing number 0 for LSU.
I love the young man's energy. Not sure he's given him as big a spark as they'd hoped because of this LSU team, but done a good job. Good cut.
Wow. The rim, what a block shot by the rim, but Skylar Mays keeps a hold of the ball, on the way again by Hyatt. Look at the offensive rebounding. And that's going to be, a traveling violation.
Let me tell you what.
Williams didn't like that call.
Well, I got to tell you, and I think it was Taylor, and Taylor's got a 40-inch vertical. Watch them both go after this together on the backside. They both go after it. They fight. That causes a turnover. And as a coach, I am fine with that. That's what we call an error of commission.
They swim, they skip, they rip, and they pin. That's how they work on the offensive glass. Jericho Sims again, the assist to Coleman.
A little more of that for Texas now. I like that Coleman got into the painted area.
Shot clock is off. Way directing traffic from the sideline. They've been getting some open looks when they run their stuff.
They practice this all the time. Late game, end of clock situations.
It's getting late. That's going to be a traveling violation. Yeah, James Harden can get away with that, but not so much Skylar Mays. And Texas has got some time. 42-32. They can get it to single digits.
Absolutely. Take a look. Now, this is illegal this year. Watch the step back. 1, 2, 3. They'll call that. Now, Paul, you've got more than enough time to get to the basket in 4.5. You should be able to put it on the deck, get to the basket, still have room for a kick-out 3 or a dump-off.
And LSU does have a foul to give if they want to use it. Pull-up jump shot. No foul is called, and the first half comes to a close. LSU led it 16-8, and on top right now, 42-32 here in Austin. Let's go to the game day crew. Now for the Jeep halftime report.
First play of the game, they figured out they had his mismatch versus those Texas guards. And Will Wade has done a nice job of exploiting that matchup most of this first half.
LSU comes in with a perfect 6-0 record in the SEC, the only unblemished record in the SEC, 14-4 overall. Texas is 2-4 right now in the Big 12. They've lost 2 in a row at West Virginia by 38 and at home against Kansas, a game in which they played very well. Just underway second half. and immediately a foul is called, and Emmett Williams, who is so active, will get to the free throw line to shoot a pair. And speaking of active, Texas, we've talked about it, we've harped on it. They take 15 threes. Okay, they're not attacking the rim. Right. The price of that, they get to the free throw line twice.
Exactly. Yep, and their free throw percentage and their amount of attempts is at the very low end of college basketball. On the other hand, this is a LSU team that lives in the trenches, if you will. To borrow a phrase from Eddie Ogeron or some of those football coaches.
You think it's safe to quote Coach O on an LSU telecast?
I think so. I think it's actually the right thing to do, Paul.
I do too.
Based on some incredible accomplishments this year. There's a turnover that just is a matter of a lack of communication. And I said this last week when they led Kansas by 5. We used to practice the first 4 minutes of the second half because you can create your own intensity by the way you warm up, the way you attack the first few possessions, how you screen, how you block out. Let's see if Texas can regroup a little bit.
Mays had such a solid first half, distributing the ball. They share it so nicely. 10 assists on 16 baskets so far for LSU. Shot clock at 7. Smart, crossing over, working, kicks outside, shot clock winding down. What good composure off the back of the iron, and look at the purple and white battle for the offensive rebound, and one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country is LSU.
That was a perfect example of what the great Sonny Smith, former Auburn coach, taught me a long time ago. Design your offense with the missed shot in mind. They drove right, they had 3 on the backside, and they basically, I'm going to kind of, you'll warm your heart, play volleyball.
Absolutely.
On the backside of that basket, that play.
Keep it alive, keep it off the floor and above the rim. But was it a spin, a swim, or a pin?
I think that was a pin. They all went hard.
Various days, he draws a third personal foul on the perimeter against one of Texas's bigs.
Now this is part of what LSU does. Number one, they get 2 and 3 to the glass every time, and they work on a swim move over the top, a rip, a spin off the defender, and then when you can pin the guy on your outside, that's good too. They know how to relentlessly attack that offensive play.
Extra possessions, and Will Wade said, look, we stat that on the bench. Yeah. And every time when we look at video, one of our bigs better for sure either pin, swim, or make something happen. Yeah, that is just a wonderful effort. And when you look at LSU and go down their roster, they may be long, but Trendon Watford is their only length at 6'9". This is an undersized team that just beats you on the boards. Nice jump hook in the lane, but a little bit too hard that time by Jericho Sims. 6'9" junior, very bouncy out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Had a good first half.
Skylar Mays, the one senior on a young lineup, kind of is the voice of reason, if you will. Tremendous leader.
Mays right down the lane. Beautiful block from behind, but off the miss. Trendon Watford, who led the way offensively for LSU, now with 14.
And that time Mays drew traffic. Biggs came over, and nobody on the backside got a piece of Watford.
About to say Matt Coleman's been a little bit quiet offensively. Here's Febres forcing things down in the lane, gets his own board. An unselfish look, but that ball will just be saved by Skylar Mays. Could have let it go out of bounds.
Yeah, a little horns action right here is what Will Wade, he put up that. In fact, that's probably the only time he'll...
That's horns up. We don't want to talk about horns down.
And we also, a lot of fans here thought maybe he likes to hook them horns, but...
Not the case.
Not the case.
Not today, anyway.
He's calling a play out.
Darius Days with a long-range miss and a foul on the perimeter is going to be called on number 5, Emmett Williams.
Watch this, Paul. Skylar Mays sets this up because the drive draws defense, and then nobody blocks out. You got to get a piece of Watford, and he's able to get unimpeded. Great look right here. Look at those two guys go to the glass. Great camera work. Thank you guys in the truck as well. That's a great look.
And great courage by our cameraman, who's about 200 feet above the court. That is very well done. Where would you like Texas to go for offense here?
Play inside out. Don't be afraid to shoot the open three.
There is Coleman. Thought that he might be a little more aggressive along rebound. Comes out to Smart with numbers. What an unselfish play. A little bit of a Euro step on the handoff. And Watford now has 16. And speaking of that, the lead is 48-32. It, too, is 16 for LSU. Out all those close victories. Once again, 5 straight conference wins. And not all of them at home, mind you, of course, by a total of 13 points. Most recently, 84-82 over Florida. That was at PMAC.
Well, you pointed out yesterday, I think, when we watched the practice, 12 straight conference road wins, right?
Yep.
Going back over 2 years.
Yeah, that is a remarkable number. And some of it is schedule-oriented in terms of where you're going on the road, because the SEC is an unbalanced schedule.
Yes.
But that's still a big number in a Power 5 conference.
Listen, any SEC road win is a quality win. Ask any coach.
Shot clock winding down. Gotta go.
Didn't see it.
Yeah, and that's going to be, you know, they let it go. And apparently Andrew Jones did just get it off his fingertips. Nice deflection. Williams running against something.
Oh, my goodness. You know, in the first half, he made a couple of athletic plays. And my thought process was, where's he been? I love his energy today. Getting an opportunity, Paul.
Williams, 6'6", slightly built, 180 pounds. They'll take care of that here at Texas. Only a freshman out of Houston, Texas. That was impressive and much needed for the Longhorns to get this crowd back involved after the lead was stretched to 16. Tough chance off the side of the iron and knocked down by Javonte Smart. Smart now with only 4. Williams with 11, and of course leading the way is Watford with 14 for LSU.
And I think the way these guys play, no one's concerned about having only 4 today. They do not care. Mays took 3 shots in the first half.
It's going to be a foul. It'll be free throws when we come back.
Well, here's a bright spot today for the Longhorns. 6'6" freshman Donovan Williams. He's been active today. Take a look.
Not the biggest, probably the second biggest bone in ribeye I've ever seen in my life.
Relative to my body, and the biggest.
And the bone is still hurting. There was nothing left.
If we weren't in such fine company, I might have sucked the meat off the bone as well. Thank you, Roaring Fork, downtown on Congress Street. We had a great meal there last night. Great camaraderie.
First free throw make so far on the afternoon for Texas. Knocked down by Andrew Jones, an 82%er so far in the year, and both of them perfect.
Little pressure by Texas now, 1-2-1-1. I think they have the athletes to play this way. Certainly Donovan Williams has shown some athleticism off the bench.
And a Smart timeout. No panic. What a cerebral timeout called by the academic All-American Skylar Mays.
Because he called that timeout, shot clock's at 25, but they will get a reset of the 10 count because the offense. How do you budget your time between all the basketball, because I know you're a gym rat, and you're also a guy that takes your academics serious. So you're an academic All-American. How do you budget it?
It's difficult, but I mean, it's a matter of want to. It's just a matter of staying disciplined and taking it a day at a time, and I think I've done a pretty good job.
You sleep much?
Not as much as I'd like to, but you know, I'm just embracing it. You only go through college once, so I'm trying to make the most of it.
Okay. In the near future, pro basketball or med school?
I definitely want to chase this pro thing as long as I can, and then I'm definitely going to put my medical degree to use.
What's it like to cut open a frog?
I haven't done it in years, but it was a great experience. Shout out to my 7th grade teacher, Dr. Cummins. So great ordeal, and you know, I'm just having a lot of fun.
Keep up the great work, man.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Well, here's something interesting about Skylar Mays. He originally was a pre-med biology major. When he switched to kinesiology in pre-med, Paul, he lost 30 credit hours, but he's still on time to graduate in 4 years, and he's going to get that chance to play basketball. Should know that he's got 7 family members, 7 siblings total, mom and dad. Dad's a doctor, mom is a nurse, couple of uncles are doctors, and incredible Baton Rouge family. Let's put it that way.
Three-pointer not close. I was about to say that he is what a gifted young man, but he's the one who's been a gift to LSU in college basketball. Jones at the other end, he's giving Texas a real lift off the bench. Just hit a three while we were in that very nice piece. 14 minutes exactly remaining. It has been all LSU since the opening tip. They led it 16-8 by 10 at the half and are now on top 52-30.
I said, you lost to Texas in Houston at the Toyota Center. And he said, yes, DJ Augustine was the start at day. He said, Coach, I know how good KD is, but I did hold him to 8 that day.
That day? Or the first 7 minutes? That day. Donovan Williams, number 4 in white, giving Texas a lift.
Listen, there's a lot of basketball left in this game, but the way I look at this Texas team, I think going forward they need to go to 10 guys, and I think they need to start pressing.
Well, we were talking about it during one of the commercial breaks. They are long, they have rim protection, they have depth, they have athletes. Why no havoc in Austin as it was in VCU?
One of the reasons I feel that Shaka Smart has not played that way, he thought it would be difficult to recruit those elite big guys, which he got 3 of them, all in the NBA now. But this team with 10 or 11 athletes, no one great player, I almost think that might be the way to go. What we're watching from Donovan Williams today is an elite athlete, as well as Kai Jones, of course, and Jericho Sims.
And if he's running the wing off of turnovers, that's pretty exciting. Step back jump shot by Coleman off the back of the iron. Biggest lead was 16. Texas fans and coaching staff and players wanted to travel. Texas has got it down to 11.
And they still can't forget about going inside to Jericho Sims, who only twice in his career has shot more than 10 field goal attempts.
One of those was when he had 20 and 6 rebounds against Kansas 14. Oh, that's too easy. Where's the rim protection there? Skylar Mays explode into the front of the rim.
You know, watching him play, he kind of kills you softly because he kind of knows when he has to score and when he just has to be a great teammate. Picking his spots.
Once again down the lane, has that shot rejected inside by Watford, who just a freshman number 2 in purple has been so impressive for the Tigers.
Take a look. He's waiting for the ball screen, and then he rejects it. And he sets up the defense. They think it's a ball screen, so look at him open up the lane. And then Williams just doesn't get over in time.
And really smart offense. Did you see the way Will Wade called that play to lift Jericho Sims? Jericho Sims was out by the 3-point line. No wonder there was nobody at the front of the rim.
You and I were talking off air. You know, some coaches call plays like you play the game Battleship. C4, hit, miss, whatever. You know, B8, hit, miss, whatever. From the very first play of the game, Will Wade saw that because of the multitude of scoring options he has, he's picked out mismatches. He's done it really well today, particularly with Watford, Paul.
A couple of free throws for Royce Hand. He's a good free throw shooter. Now 12 of 15 on the season, and another steal by Williams.
Oh man, he has been. Look at him. He's a great-looking athlete. He's a junkyard dog. I remember in practice in September. I really liked him.
Coleman down the lane, skip pass into the corner off the front of the iron. Ramey has been quiet. He averages 11 and 5 so far on the year. Golden up to score 0 for 3.
Yeah, golden opportunity missed by Texas on that open 3. That would have cut the lead to single digits. And LSU, from what we've seen, they are not going to. They're not going to be rattled.
Marlon Taylor, number 14 in purple, back on for the Tigers. Shot clock at 5. Unselfish extra pass, that off the front of the iron, and rebounding out of your area by Ham.
Like to see Ham get to the offensive glass as well.
Sims, nice spin move.
Could not have done that a couple years ago. He is much improved. The motor's running at a high level, and his game is improving. He needs more touches.
Back into it here at the Irwin Center. Watford trying for the tough make down inside, and it'll be 2 free throws coming to Trendon Watford when we come back.
Well, Shaka Smart wanted that ball to go inside, and when they get it to Sims, he knows what to do with it. Sweet move. Right hand. He's ambidextrous, by the way. Well done. Timeout, the TV timeout. 10 rounds. Felt like he won that round. It's down 10, but they got plenty of time to go. And I like the energy these young guys are bringing today, particularly Donovan Williams, who's still in the game. Now, Ramey's back in, and they got to get something out of Ramey and Feathers.
Yeah, they have not shot the ball at all well, and we talked about it in terms of, to use your word, schematic. You know, Texas shoots 26 threes a game. That's fine if you're making your share like they did against Oklahoma State when they made 15, but today those two are only 1 for 8.
Right, and got to get those touches inside the Sims and exploit that ability inside.
Emmett Williams at only 6'6" against Sims. Sims is listed at 6'9", but he looks like he's got about a 7'9" wingspan.
He plays 7'9". That's the great thing about Emmett Williams.
Great for Texas here as those free throws are missed by LSU.
Let's see what they got out of a timeout, because they can get this into single digits here.
Sims, he got fouled across the arm. No argument whatsoever from Skylar Mays. That is 5 team fouls now on LSU.
Clock gets reset to 20, so Texas has got to move quickly once they get this ball in. Big possession.
Coleman surveying, gets inside, uses the offense, needs a bounce and gets a bounce.
Nice job. He switched hands in the air, and there's a little bit of pressure now. And you know what, Paul, in just a small sample size, the Tigers have not handled that pressure extremely well. Certainly not as well as they had the half-court defense.
First time the game's been in single digits since 37-28. Shot clock already at 8. Mays down the lane. Shot rejected by Ham, but it'll be a couple of free throws coming. Easy play to call.
Yeah, watch Matt Coleman. He did a nice job of hesitating, reading, and then he figured out when no one guarded him, he got to the lane, and he shoots this with his right hand. Not bad. Really soft touch for a left-hander right there.
Boy, I'm tempted to take you way back.
Go ahead.
Guy Rogers.
Oh, man. You and I are the only two people in the building that may know the great Guy Rogers.
In the city of Austin.
One of the great Philly guards. Great player.
He could finish, and he was undersized. Crowd back into it here in Austin. Down the lane, Javonte Smart goes and gets his own miss.
Can't let that happen if you're Texas. These possessions are like gold if you're going to get back in the game. It's been a problem with Texas guards this year. Rebounding the defensive end.
That's the 11th offensive rebound for the Tigers.
Mismatch inside if they see it.
5, and that's going to be, a foul on the perimeter. So it'll be back to LSU.
Well, Javonte Smart is a 6'4" point guard, but watch him miss and then crash, get his own rebound, and that's just poison for a Texas comeback.
Both Texas and LSU now with 5 team fouls. LSU on top. 9:44 left. 54-46. Watford, boy, is he a beautiful looking player. That off the side of the end. And look at LSU go get it.
Man, you saw 0 and 5 in purple, and you knew they were going to get that ball. They do work.
The mismatch down inside. An offensive foul is going to be called on number 0, Darius Days. So that's a turnover against LSU. SportsCenter tonight after X Games Aspen with John Anderson and Kenny Mayne. They'll have highlights and reaction from Philly with LeBron looking to pass Kobe Bryant for number 3 all-time on the NBA scoring list, plus coverage of Tigers' 3rd round at Torrey Pines and all the biggest moments from UFC. Fight Night SportsCenter, midnight Eastern on ESPN.
All right, Mr. Sunderland.
The ESPN app. Yes, sir.
I have a question for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
You've seen a lot of Laker games in your lifetime.
Yes.
If LeBron James wins an NBA title, does he get his Lakers jersey retired in the Staples Center?
No.
One title?
No.
Okay, I'm with you.
No, not enough.
I'm with
Sorry,
you.
the standard's pretty high in the purple and gold.
I like it.
Sorry, it's not enough.
I like it. I'm with you.
I mean, nobody's questioning LeBron's greatness, but one isn't enough.
Who's your greatest Laker? of all time.
I was asked this very recently. Mine's Kobe. I think more so than Magic. Mine is Kobe. 20 years, everything that he did through different permutations with Pau Gasol, with Shaq, and then later on winning those championships. I mean, he was tremendous.
You having a flashback today with the purple and gold?
A little bit. And they both start with L. A little bit. 11 to shoot, 8:32 left in this one. LSU still leading 54-46. Fourth foul now on Kai Jones, the 6'11" freshman out of Nassau in the Bahamas. Went to prep school in New Hampshire, making his first career start at the other end of the spectrum. Matt Coleman, 90th consecutive start, unquestionably the leader for the Texas Longhorns.
Those two early fouls by Kai Jones really hurt him. And again, he's going to be a good player. Look at this. Steal by Ramey. Maybe that'll get him going. But you know what? The defense has been solid. They're within 8. And maybe we'll get some reaction in this building.
Days tries to quiet the crowd. No go. Coleman feeling too low. He's saying it was deflected out of bounds, but that looked like it was just a bullet of a pass too low.
Oh, man, that's a heartbreak. We talked about that. Got to take advantage of great defense. Matt Coleman, usually on the money, just not accurate on that pass. Bad break for Texas.
Dangerous pass.
They have not been great in the half court in terms of the full court pressure, LSU.
They turned it over 16 times. That miscue at the other end was number 11 for Texas. Haven't said this in a long time. LSU needs a basket. I don't think I've said it all day. Fumbled, recovered, shot clock at 4. Long three-point. Air ball there. And a good block out by Texas.
There's suddenly life in the Irwin Center, and it's because Texas has been outstanding on the defensive end. Watch Courtney Ramey sneaking in and then laying it in. The Horns, they're getting close today.
They're going to get some more minutes. You know, playing time, everybody says it's determined by the coaches. No way. It's determined by players. And close games, that is the mantra. And winning the final 6 minutes for Will Wade and LSU. Each of the last 5 games by 4 points or fewer. I'll give you the list. When I went through it, I thought I must be missing one here. It is remarkable. Jones down the lane. Oh, tough shot. Andrew Jones now with 15.
Yeah, really good ISO play for him. There's that three-quarter court pressure. Yeah. See what LSU did, Paul? They did not attack. They get it over and they're pulling it out, which is fine, but if you can attack and get an easy basket, you can get Texas out of this pressure. They haven't been able to do that.
14-2 run inside to Williams. There was some contact, let him play. Was the ball deflected out of bounds? The officials are talking it over. That's going to be Texas basketball. 6:44 left. 54-50.
Good set play here. They got Emmett Williams inside, but Jericho Sims with a nice job. And because Williams followed through, even if that ball was deflected, they said it was off him.
And look how much LSU has cooled off. They shot 55% in the opening half. Texas much better defensively, down to 31 so far in the second.
Jones spins it up and in. We got a two-point game. Here's that pressure. Now they're going to back it off.
Keep an eye on Emmett Williams, number 5. He was grabbing his right calf. He's limping right now, and he's really important to them.
Mismatch.
Watford working inside on Jones, right to the front of the rim. Pretty good help by Sims, but couldn't get him quickly enough to deny the basket to Watford now with 18.
Wow, what an effort by all those purple jerseys on the backside again. That was a scramble for who wanted it more. And Trendon Watford in the right place on that backside.
Jones feeling it.
Not feeling that good. No. That's one of those bad shots, good shots.
Texas to take the lead.
They should be able to get a great shot here. ISO for Jones. Pick and roll coming with Sims.
Oh, maybe got away with a travel. That was a wild shot, but he's really feeling it. And Jones has got 20 points so far on the afternoon.
Well, this is the Andrew Jones we remember from his freshman year. Wants to finish inside, kissing it off, and then this one, he's feeling it. And good defense. Doesn't look like a good shot. It's a great shot.
Andrew Jones now with 20 points, 4 of 5 from outside the arc. And he's been feeling it the last 4 games. Got to be aware of the shot clock. What a second half. Crowd didn't like that one.
Nope.
Texas on top, 58-56, the first time they've led since 8-7, which was a lifetime ago.
Well, the thing you like about this is he knew he had the shot clock in his head, had to get it off. That's smart play. And you know what, Paul? This is Tiger time.
Yep.
Because every day in practice, the LSU Tigers play 6-minute games. They play the final 6 minutes of a game. You mentioned how many close games they've won. They're used to these situations.
And Will Wade talking to us about the keys. He said, look, it is our 6-minute mantra. You go ask any of my players. Value every possession. Don't expose yourself by taking chances on defense and make your foul shots. Here's 1/3 of that equation as Javonte Smart knocks down the first. Will Wade in his 3rd year led the LSU Tigers to the Sweet 16 last year before losing to Michigan State. His counterpart, they've been together for a long time. They were together. Shaka Smart was the head coach. Will Wade was one of his assistants at VCU during those big years. Shaka Smart and his team was winning the NIT. That's not enough.
Changing defense, 1-3-1 by LSU. They like to do this. It's really the one-half court zone defense. They play well.
Jones thought about it. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. LSU's got this game right where they want it.
Close game.
Good defense by Watford. What a good shot by Sims.
I'll tell you, his elevator went to the 11th floor. Well, we got a 4-minute game.
Sims now with 14. Smart, that rims him out. Sims has been really impressive. Been playing with 2 fouls. He's played very smartly at both ends. Andrews given the Longhorns some really good numbers. Turns it over here, so it'll be LSU basketball. When we come back, Texas leading 60-58.
4%.
Soon to be NBA All-Star.
Could be. That wouldn't be bad. He's a fan favorite. And Udoka right now hovering around 75% for his career.
I guess it's a good idea to throw it into him every once in a while. It's been a good idea for the Longhorns to throw it in to Jericho Sims on the afternoon. 14 points, 7 of 9 shooting. Changed some shots, blocked some shots.
What's the key for Texas now? Defensive rebounding.
There's the defense again. Watford goes to get his miss. Really good defense on the perimeter by Sims. Jump hook.
Oh, man.
Down inside by Days.
Yep. Boy, and I tell you, that was good defense by hand. Great possession. 1-3-1 again. I don't think Texas handled this well the first time. They were in such a rhythm versus the man-to-man. This is a good call by Will Wade. And you know, Paul, this team is comfortable in close games.
Inside of 3 minutes remaining. Hamilton Smart. The assist, not there, not close, and that'll be saved on the floor by Sims. Gotta get back. LSU's got numbers. Well, Sims can run. He is back in the mix defensively. Tied at 60. 2:35 left. Watford after the flyby. Off the back of the iron, Sims everywhere now for the rebound.
Yep, and that's the defensive rebound that we talked about. They missed Ham on the breakaway. Let's see if LSU stays man here.
I was watching your game against Texas and Kansas. You talked about it being a directional game for Texas. They lose that, then they go to Morgantown and lose by very efficient offensive team to just 2 for 13.
Now let's watch LSU because it looks like they're going to be in a 1-3-1 zone. And this is something that Texas has only seen a couple possessions of. So what does Shaka Smart have coming out of this timeout? They were in such a rhythm versus the man-to-man. They were hitting a straight fastball. Oh, he could have shot it and got fouled.
Yeah, Jones has got the ball on the floor, and it's a turnover. Watford looking for the lob. There with the lob, lays it up and in. Huge play in this basketball game.
Is that 1-3-1? You got to spread them out. You got to attack on the baseline. And you can't be afraid to skip it cross court. There it is. Baseline.
Rainy, been cold all afternoon. That continues off the back of the iron. And Skylar Mays. We were surprised at what a quiet, soft-spoken young man he was yesterday. In fact, he was barking out defensive orders. He's in charge right now.
On offense, he's playing with like no post rate. Calm. Remember, they got Watford as a matchup problem, but Sims has done a great job on him today.
Shot clock at 8. LSU, remember how phenomenal they have been in close games. They have won 5 straight in the SEC by a total of 14 points, one of those in overtime at A&M.
Ball was deflected out of bounds by opponents, so they can go look at this. Couldn't tell who the original call was, LSU, and in my opinion, and I think you made the point, we both thought it looked like it was off Marlon Taylor. It didn't look conclusive, and it's exactly what the official
I can see
said.
that. It was very, very close.
Yep.
And again, to go to the video replay and have it overrule the call on the floor, it has to be not 99%, 100%.
Right.
LSU to inbound, 20 on the shot clock.
1 minute.
Remember, Texas has to defensive rebound versus these demons on the Tigers' front line.
Mays crossover. Did he get the contact? He did. Texas fans wanted a traveling violation before. It's going to be 2 free throws, not 1 and 1.
This is so James Harden-esque. Watch Mays intelligently throw his body into the defender, Coleman. This is so smart. There's not a lot of contact here, but he initiates the contact. And there's the slap on the arm, but he sold it perfectly.
And once again, very good design from the sideline. Who's the best free throw shooter on LSU? You're looking at him, number 4 at 86%.
And they're seniors, right?
Makes the first of 2. Severus is coming back on. Shaka Smart going with another 3-point shooter. On the day, Texas is 7 of 23 from outside the arc.
On a miss, I would push this ball up the floor and attack because I really don't want to attack the 1-3-1. And watch what they'll do. They're going to throw a little 2-2-1 pressure just to slow Texas down. Let's see if they get to the 1-3-1, and they do.
Back to a 2-possession game.
Now it looks man.
Coleman step back 3-pointer. He didn't need a 3 there. Long rebound saved by Febres. Coleman, 18-footer. Oh, no, good. Shot clock is off.
Got a pressure and foul here.
Okay, we got a foul. These are valuable seconds. And a timeout is called by LSU. Look at the Texas coaching staff saying, man, you got to get over there and hit him. How many seconds went off the clock after that rebound taken by LSU? Yeah. You can't make Tennessee.
Okay, now watch the inbounds here because Will Wade knows what he's doing. He's going to try to get the ball to Mays if he can. And he can utilize this entire 94 feet if Mays has to go all the way into the backcourt.
There are a couple of good free throw shooters on this LSU team. Emmett Williams at 79%. We talked about Mays at 86. Javonte Smart at 82. Oh, they had Mays in the backcourt, and look at
he wanted it.
The most cerebral player on the floor talking to his head coach. Said, I'm open by 30 feet, and he could have run off some time.
He could have, and now you put a guy that shoots under 70% from the line. And by the way, let's watch Watford's unique free throw form. Watch how he steps to the side and back.
65% from the free throw line.
Watch his form, Paul.
That's got more hitches in it than my golf swing. But all that matters is right through the bottom. One possession game here. Watford now with 21 points, a new career high. 16.5 seconds remaining.
This ball goes through the basket. LSU will likely pressure again just to slow Texas down. Texas does not need a desperation three if they can get a quick two at the rim and set up their pressure.
Big free throws for the freshman. And here comes the pressure you were talking about. Just to take off a few ticks. Jones, long three-pointer on the way off the back of the iron, got it for the rebound. And Mays has got it. 9 seconds remaining.
Yep, the higher possession play there, percentage play. LSU does not want to foul at the rim. If you catch it out there, drive it, score it, cut it to 2 with 12 seconds, set up your press, try to steal it, then foul. To me, that's a better play than the desperation three.
Because that was a desperation deep three. Absolutely agree.
Yep.
They being LSU, probably going to give up a concession too. Mentioned Tennessee and Kansas, Kentucky, Texas Tech, and to close out the day in this challenge on ESPN, #1 Baylor. You think Baylor and Florida is going to be really good?
Well, I do. I think it's a huge game for Florida. It's a resume builder. Baylor's going on the road. It's the first #1 team to go to the O'Connell Center in Florida history, not named Kentucky.
Wow. Look at Skylar Mays at the free throw line, just knocking him down. 67-62. Concession basket at that end. Quick timeout called by Shaka Smart.
That's the basket you needed with 12 seconds,
Yes.
Paul, to cut the lead to 2 and then set your press up. And now, you know, it's a 3 points, excuse me. Now you gotta throw caution to the wind.
10 down by 16, and they came all the way back and gave LSU everything they wanted.
Well, there's a lot of material here left for Texas. It's a matter how they look at their season. Now again, it's got to be it's a steal, foul, and try to do it within 1 second. See, I would bring everybody up and dare LSU to throw the ball down court.
Again, if Texas is able to steal the ball, they need a 3, and that'll about do it. Javonte Smart, the 6'4" sophomore from right in Baton Rouge, an 82%er, will go to the free throw line. Remember, coming up, Kansas taking on Tennessee. That's coming up next. Currently on the ESPN app.
You know, we talked about this ball in the first half. LSU is so disciplined on the defensive end, they're not even in the bonus yet, Texas. LSU's only committed 6 fouls today in the second half.
And LSU in the double bonus. 3.3 seconds remaining. Gives us a quick second to see who's up next for Texas, because after LSU, there's going to be a hard-fought loss, a TCU team that recently beat Texas Tech, then Iowa State at Kansas, Texas Tech. And as far as LSU is concerned, as they return as the only undefeated SEC team, they'll take on an Alabama team. That will be a really interesting contest. Alabama, much improved. Ole Miss at Vanderbilt and at Auburn.
Now, this is salted away, but if you're a Texas player, some of the effort that we saw today, as long as they can get the right mindset going forward, there are wins on that schedule, but it's more mental than physical right now.
That final basket will count, but fait accompli for LSU and Will Wade. They improved to 15-4. wonderful performance once again by LSU. Final score 69-64. Coming up next, Tennessee.